All right. Now, the focus energy is another major arcana, but it's the devil. Now, what does the devil represent to us here? Are we talking about a Capricorn with Cancer influences? Are we talking about a Cancer with Capricorn influences? Or are we talking about an action? Are we moving away? Are we making progress away from maybe an addiction, maybe an obsession? Is there something that needs to change in your life connected to this choice, this journey forward, making changes away from this negative energy that comes in with the devil? Now, first let's look at, let's look at work, Sagittarius. The Page of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. So, I'm going to say that the situation that you've been in with work feels like it remains stable. I think things don't change all that much during this period of time. Things stay pretty much as they have been. I don't think any major changes are coming for Sagittarius around your work situation, about your livelihood. I think whatever you're doing, you'll continue doing it. And that isn't really an issue this week. Now, your home situation, on the other hand, we have the Queen of Wands, your energy, being in your own element, and Judgment. And that's where this comes in. I think for some of you, the changes that you're looking to make, number one, they have to be spiritually connected, or they won't be effective. They just won't take hold in your life unless you make the choice to change what's negative. And that's what's being asked of you here in your home. There's something there, a behavior, an obsession, an addiction, whatever that is. Has to be a decision for whoever this is resonating with. You have to stand in your own element and be true to yourself as you make that journey through change. Because something here is being asked. Change me. Please change me. You can have what you want in this life, but there's something there that you need to change about what you're doing or about what's happening to you. It's affecting you directly, and you can have that change. You can have that rebirth. You can have that ascension out of something negative and into something positive. You can have that. Okay. What is your role right now, Sagittarius? The Empress and the King of Swords. You know, I'm going to say for someone, it's an issue connected to femininity, and I don't know why I'm getting that. It's either a disconnect with nurturing or a disconnect. It may be an obsession towards women, but I get a serious kind of female energy that surrounds you. So if you are a female, you're standing in your own essences, your own ability to nurture. But with this King of Swords, what choices are you making? Are you cutting something out of your life? Are you cutting someone out of your life? It feels like a feminine energy that this decision is being made towards. I almost feel that if you are a female, you may be looking at some sort of surgical kind of enhancement, or maybe you're thinking about having your tubes tied. There's something connected to femininity. If you're a man, this could be negative projections towards women, negative attitudes towards women that need to be really released. That it's a blockage, it's a holdup, and it could be, I mean, we could go all the way to the extreme and say that this is a man who likes to wear women's underwear, and his wife doesn't want him to do it anymore, and so he has to stop it. So we could go to that extreme, but it's a behavior connected to the feminine that is really asking to be released, whether it's negativity towards the female aspects or whether it's part of a feminine cycle that is coming to an end, which is really also very possible here. There's a change coming in whatever that way is, and that can always, if you're of a childbearing age, you could be looking at the expectancy of a child. This could be the actual presentation of a child into your life. But with this one, there comes the question, and I almost feel like it's a question as to whether or not to accept the pregnancy as viable or not. It may be very clinical in nature, but there feels if you are expecting a child, there may be something around this period of time that is maybe a decision process. Maybe you're deciding whether or not to have natural childbirth or a C-section. It can be that kind of decisiveness being made around this feminine time. Now, this can also talk about the ability to nurture, which is great. But it can also talk about very clinical female experiences when it sits next to the King of Swords. Now, what is your environment? The Fool and the Ace of Swords. The environment around you is changing in whatever way that is, whatever way you're experiencing the change. You may be looking at something going on in your life that's brand new, untried, but there's a new way of addressing it, a new way of it's a new step forward. It's connected to the way you think. It's connected to the way you act and how you proceed forward. There's a chance, though. The Fool always talks about the chance. The Fool always talks about the untried journey. And so, in your case, maybe the choices that have to be made here are new things. Maybe you've never had to deal with a situation like this. It feels like you're dealing with something almost on your own, as if you find out you're pregnant and you're single and you don't have a support system, or you're keeping it to yourself. That kind of a decision can be here for someone. The birth of something new is absolutely here. It's been untried for someone, and there's a necessity to keep your mind open as you move through this process. In the 5th position, we asked, what is the next step? The 4 of Swords. This is the ending. This is the breakup. This is that thing. This is that moment where you get pushed a little too far and you need to get away. And there's the tower. There's the action that stops. There's the action that puts an end to whatever this guy brings here. That was kind of what I was waiting for. Are we going to make the decision to cut the situation off, or are we going to continue fueling it? Are we going to let a behavior go, or are we going to continue adding fuel to the fire? I think here, whether you want an ending or not, there's going to be an ending here connected to whatever this is. Again, I think work remains status quo. I don't see changes being made around that, but I do feel in your home, on a personal level, there's a change. There's a change there that needs to be made so that you can proceed forward. But somebody has already walked away from that, and somebody has already sort of done the breakup, already gone through the process of the breakup. The ending is already here. But for someone, maybe what we're saying here is now it's time to let go of whatever it was that drug you through an ending here. Forced you into a position of starting over again on your own. And having to force you to look at a situation or your life in a completely different way. The Vision card. What have we got here? The Six of Swords and the Hermit. You know, I think some of you visualize the ability to move forward, although I feel you're very reflective and kind of in a period of sacrifice and inner reflection. The desire maybe to move on is there, but the period of reflection, of maybe loneliness, is really what you're seeing going on in your life right now. Maybe what you're envisioning in your life is a period of being alone, a period of moving away from what was emotional and now just sort of being at peace within yourself, within your own life. But the desire maybe to move towards something else might just be there. And honestly, it's an okay place to be. It's an okay place to be right now. Your vision is maybe just leave me alone. That's what I'm supposed to get from this. I hate the way that happens. You know, I think some of you just want to be left alone. You're kind of progressing. You're making progress through the hurt, through whatever the disappointment that guy brought. And the moving through it, you're journeying through the process. But some of you just really kind of want to be left alone. You want to call the shots in your own life, and you want to move it along the way you see fit for yourself. Now, the main objective for you, the Moon and the Seven of Cups, they're both cards of confusion. The one is sort of emotionally not knowing what hand to play, emotionally not knowing what cup to pick, emotionally not knowing which direction you need to go in. And the Moon is the confusion. It's the lies we tell ourselves. It's the direction that's being shown to us and not paying it any attention, because there's clouds of unknown around the situation right now. And at this time, the main objective may just be to lift the clouds, to come out of the space of the darkness, come out of the unknown, and really seeing the situation for what it is. But right now, this situation for someone really isn't moving forward. You're kind of stuck in the darkness. You're not really moving. You're not really making the choices that you need to make in order to leave something negative behind. Feels like you're stuck in that cycle here. And now we're going to look at the result. The 10 of Wands, Sagittarius, and the Page of Cups. So there's a situation around you. When you release the negative, the burden, the thing that is weighing you down, maybe weighing your life down, maybe an emotional burden weighing on you, there's a new opportunity to embrace maybe a better way, maybe a better way of experiencing love, because it feels like this may be affecting your love life, your personal life, even though it's a general life reading. There's a new way of being accepted, maybe, if you let something go. As if there's something that you do in the world that just would not normally be accepted by other people. And if you want the acceptance, you may need to give up a certain behavior that maybe in some eyes is acceptable, in other eyes maybe not so much. If it's something that your partner is objecting to, this is really saying if you let go of that thing that they object to, you can have the love back in the situation. Whatever negativity you need to release, there's an opening for a happier, more satisfactory result in whatever you're doing. And at the same time, let us remember we need to be grateful while we process this. Okay, now I'm going to go and do a love reading for you for this week. It's time to look at what needs to be released. If you're experiencing some issues in a partnership or a way of life, this is really the time to let it go and to embrace something new that wants to come in. Lift the clouds of confusion and let something in. Now, that's what I've got. Use gratitude and let that be a part of your journey as you let go of something here.